Y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we be like, all right.
Thank you, Roger Bonds, for putting it out there. It came to life for y'all. It came to life for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. What he look like telling somebody to whoop my ass? He didn't tell him that. He wanted me in the dirt and was trying to rock me to sleep.
Gene Deal is everywhere right now. Podcasts, interviews, live streams, and every time he opens his mouth, another bombshell drops about Sean Diddy Combs and the shadowy underbelly of the bad boy era that was clearly never meant to see daylight. But here's what's chilling. Even as he speaks, Gene isn't relaxed. He's calculated, guarded. Like a man who knows exactly what kind of monster he's poking and understands that Diddy's reach didn't vanish the moment those handcuffs clicked. And then it gets darker. Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, a man who stood inside the fortress walls, has come forward with a claim that stopped people cold. He says he was directly instructed to handle individuals who had crossed Diddy. Not warn them. Not confront them professionally. Handle them. If that's true, this isn't gossip anymore. It's a window into something deeply sinister. Roger Bonds didn't hear about this world secondhand. He lived in it. He watched it breathe, watched how loyalty was enforced and silence was purchased or demanded. And what he's now suggesting is terrifying, that the machinery of intimidation, control, and punishment may still be grinding, even now, even from behind bars. Gene Deal keeps saying he's not looking for war. He just wants to tell his truth, to finally speak on what he witnessed during those bad boy years. But according to everyone watching closely, simply telling that truth might already be enough to put a target on his back. And people online are asking the same question out loud. If Diddy ever walks free, should Gene Deal be scared?
Seeing this a lot online. How you feel about the people that say that you should be worried if Diddy get out?
What needs something to say, bro. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I can bodyguard myself with his blessings. I can bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene got to be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999. High-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? How I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send somebody at you. I've seen dudes that do shit and they have Nick right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know? That shit made the...
Let's be absolutely clear about what's happening here, because this is not just another wave of viral gossip or social media noise. What's unfolding right now is the slow, calculated unraveling of a powerful empire, one that operated for decades behind a carefully constructed wall of influence, money, and silence. Legal pressure is mounting. Insiders are talking. And the secrets that were buried deep are beginning to claw their way to the surface. To truly grasp the weight of this, you need to understand exactly who Roger Bonds is, because he is not some random voice shouting from the internet. From 2003 to 2012, Roger Bonds served as the head of security for Sean Diddy Combs, nearly a decade embedded at the very core of one of the most powerful and untouchable entertainment empires on the planet. His role wasn't ceremonial. This wasn't a man checking wristbands at a velvet rope. He was operating in the most sensitive, high-pressure, behind-closed-doors environments imaginable. Exclusive private events, high-profile award shows, elite nightlife spaces, and rooms the general public will never set foot in. And while he was protecting, he was also watching. For years, Bonds had a front-row seat to how real power actually functions. How disputes were quietly dissolved, how influence was weaponized without ever leaving a fingerprint, and how certain situations were managed in ways that never once touched the public eye. By his own account, what he witnessed over those years became increasingly impossible to stomach, ultimately pushing him to walk away entirely. Now, after years of careful silence, Bonds is starting to speak. And when he does, people stop and listen, not because of rumors or speculation, but because this man was inside the room.
So let me ask you a question. How long before you started working with him did you start to see like red flags and did you know like, damn, this is kind of crazy? Was it like immediate, or was it like he gained your trust and you started vibing and you started seeing shit? Or was it like off the rip you knew like, hey, something up with it?
Now enter Gene Deal, and if his name keeps showing up everywhere you look, there's a very good reason for that. Gene Deal is not an outsider piecing together a story from rumors and second-hand accounts. This man was there. He was physically present during one of the most electric and turbulent chapters in music history, the rise of Bad Boy Records, back when Sean Diddy Combs was molding legends. We're talking about the era of the notorious B.I.G. and Maze, artists who didn't just top charts, they defined a generation, they rewrote the DNA of hip-hop culture. And Gene Deal was woven into the fabric of that world. He wasn't front stage taking bows. He was operating in the shadows, the sold-out arenas, the restricted VIP corridors, the private hotel rooms where real conversations happened and sensitive matters were handled far away from any camera or microphone. He saw what the cameras never captured. He heard what the microphones were never allowed near. Then, after eventually stepping away from that world, Gene began doing something that clearly made powerful people very uncomfortable. He started talking. Pulling back the curtain on what Bad Boy truly looked like once you stripped away the lights, the platinum records, and the carefully manufactured image. But here's where this story takes on a whole new dimension. Roger Bonds, who later stepped into a strikingly similar role inside that same circle, began sharing his experiences too. And when you place their accounts side by side, the overlaps are impossible to ignore. It doesn't rubber stamp every single claim, but it does something arguably more powerful. It creates a pattern. And patterns, more than anything, are what force people to start asking the questions that someone clearly never wanted asked.
Man, listen here. I want to let this young lady know, and I know this is not the place for it, brother, but please allow me to say this to her, man. You know what I'm saying? I started this battle long time ago. And the situation is that, bruh, we already won. This was some spiritual that Pop, the spirit of Pop, the spirit of Big, the spirit of Miss Jones, the spirit of Wolf, all the people that he has done wrong, you know, so Black, all the people that he has done wrong, bruh, is coming to light. We already won this spiritual. What we going through right now with these trials and everybody, you know, with this financial situation and everything like that, all that is superficial. That's the physical part of it. The spiritual part of it was won because Big, Pac, Wolf Mother, all the people that he did wrong, bruh, you understand? They already won the battle where we were supposed to win it at. So now we just going through the physical part of it, man. And I want that girl to know, man, that she ain't got to fear no man. She ain't got to fear him, nobody else, man. Whenever she needs, you understand? Whenever she needs somebody to travel, to go with her, to make sure she all right, you know, I'm a phone call away, man. I'm a phone call away. And you know, go ahead with your questioning, man. I just had to get that out, man, because that girl touched a lot of people, man, because all she wanted to do was write music, make music, and show her talent and her love to the people, man. And then she got to feel this way, be fearful and scared of her life and stuff like that. Ma, I ain't scared of no man. You understand? I ain't scared of no man. Nobody that got to put their pants on the same way I do. Not at all.
And for the people that don't know who Tiffany Red is, that's Cassie's best friend.
That's one of Cassie's friends. She was writing a lot of music, and she said that she was writing music for her friends to get. Oh my God, man, come.
And this is where the contrast between these two men becomes absolutely impossible to ignore, because they couldn't be more different in how they operate. Roger Bonds is cold, composed, and surgical. Every word he speaks feels like it was measured twice before leaving his mouth. He's calculated, deliberate, and precise, the kind of man who reveals just enough to make you lean in, but never so much that he loses control of the narrative. Gene Deal. He is the exact opposite, and that's precisely what makes him so dangerous to the people who'd rather this story stayed buried. Gene doesn't do polished. Gene doesn't do rehearsed. When he speaks, it's like watching a dam finally break after years of mounting pressure. Raw. Unfiltered. Emotionally detonating in real time. You're not watching a carefully constructed media performance. You're watching a man pour out years of suppressed truth, frustration, and first-hand experience all at once, with zero regard for how it lands. And that is exactly why his interviews spread like wildfire. People don't just hear Gene Deal, they feel him. The emotion is real, the intensity is undeniable, and the sense that absolutely nothing is being held back is what locks people in and refuses to let them go. But here's the uncomfortable reality that comes with that kind of unfiltered power. When you speak without a filter, without a PR team carefully managing your every sentence, you stop being just a voice, you become a threat. In a world built on power, image, and the ruthless management of narratives, a voice like Gene Deal's isn't just uncomfortable. It's uncontrollable. And for the people who spent decades making sure certain stories never got out, an uncontrollable voice may be the most terrifying thing of all.
Man, you know, leopard don't change his spots, and Diddy been doing this real long time, bro. He been doing this for a long time. And now another artist, this artist didn't wait 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He didn't wait 20 years. You understand? He waited a year or two after he stopped working with him and saw he didn't get what he was supposed to get. And he said, yo, listen here, man. I'm putting in my claims right now because I'm going to show everybody what really happened, what really went down. It's crazy. When I was reading I read the whole thing. Shout out to Keisha in Kansas City. She sent me the whole documentation, bro. And, you know, the whole court thing. And when I'm reading the stuff, you know, it sound a lot of it sound familiar. You understand? And what I mean sound familiar, how he would get other girls and get girls to try to, you know, convince this guy, you know, or put him in a situation with other girls so he could do whatever he wanted to do with them. And it's just like the situation somewhat with Sarah and her girlfriend and him and Ja. You know what I'm saying? Bringing girls on to try to convince this other guy to be in a room with another naked man and all this other bullshit. Yo, it all sound familiar, man. I read the whole thing, man, and it was crazy.
And for the people that don't know what you're talking about, because the lawsuit is new, so, you know, some people still catching up with it. Little Rod, he alleges that, you know, Young Miami cousin tried to have in front of Diddy.
Yeah, he went into the bathroom, and then she came into the bathroom and tried to, you know, throw herself on him. He didn't want to have nothing to do with her for whatever reason. And then when he came out the bathroom, she continued to try to do that and try to have, wanted him to have on Diddy and the rest of the people that was in there. You know, that's how they do, man. They try to use a girl that you might like, or you may think you might like, or they think you might like her or whatever, to convince you to lay down your guards with them. And he didn't.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And you're not surprised by none of this, because you said that Ja Rule, they did this to him, right?
No, remember, and people got it confused when I said that Ja and him was in the room with two girls, with Sarah and Sarah's girlfriend. You understand? He was trying to get Ja to go at Jay-Z. So what he did was try to get another girl, you understand, to do something with Ja. I guess, I don't know, they in the room together. So in that thing, I know what he was planning on doing because I heard the conversation.